Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I am Zenobia Harris, CEO for the Kent Chamber. Yes, Sam, thank you. Let's clap. Happy Women's History Month to me and to everybody else. I love it. So on behalf of myself, my staff, our committees and board of directors, we'd like to welcome you to our March Luncheon. And as always, our guest speaker this month is the mayor, who'll be giving the State of the City, the business edition, because I am certain you all have questions and you are able to engage in great dialogue and ask the questions that are important to you and also moving your business forward. Before we do that, I would like to recognize the board members that we have here today. The Chamber is a board of 13 members who are community members and business owners here and who are dedicated to economic development and the success of our city. And so I would like to recognize them by name. I'll call their name and their business. They'll stand. And then at the end, we will do a roaring applause. And we'll start here. We have Julie Schott with the Madison team. We have Suzanne, we're going to stand, Suzanne Cameron with Around the Clock, Inc. Roaring applause at the end. Yes, we're just standing. Yes, I know, it's uncomfortable. And then we have Raj Sidhu with Intech Consulting. We have Ren Tarvin with Renton Technical College and also an instructor there. We have Sarah McNeish with Multi-Service Center. We also have Yvonne Walker with Heritage Bank. We have Dennis Wilson with Harborstone Credit Union. Sorry about that. And we have Lawrence Gear with 828 Consulting. We're going to stand. And I believe I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I'm in trouble. We're good? Roaring applause. Thank you so much to our board members. And so now I would like to just talk about a couple of events that we have going on. As you all are aware, if you don't know, it is Women's History Month, and we like to celebrate with a lunch or a breakfast or a dinner. This year, we're going to be having a breakfast on the 15th of March, which is next Friday. It's early morning. It's 7:30. Early bird gets the worm. And we have a great panel of business owners, and we're talking about wellness. And we also have a keynote speaker by the name of Sherry Storm. If you've been a part of the chamber for more than 10 years, Sherry actually spoke at one of our luncheons about 8 or 9 years ago. And so she's coming back. She has a great book. MBA is the new Motherhood is the new MBA is the name of the book. And so going to give us some good advice of how we are balancing our lives as career women and mothers and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, I would give an introduction, but we all know who she is. And we appreciate the work that she's doing in the community and the partnership with the Chamber. And so I'd like to welcome our mayor, Dana Ralph.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's super good to see you and be back at Showware Center for this event. I want to start with some thank yous. I want to say thank you to Zenobia and the Chamber for making this event possible. Getting the message out of all the great things that are happening and the ways that we can partner with our business community is sometimes a challenge. And so this is a really good opportunity to talk about some of the great things we've got going on, those partnerships. And then we'll hopefully, if I get through all of my cards, it looks worse than it is, I promise, we want to have some time for question and answer. So before we get officially started, I do want to acknowledge Council President Kaur here is joining us as well as Chief Padilla today. So yeah. All right. So I was thinking about what we wanted to talk about and how to take the state of the city and really make it relevant to business owners. What kept coming back to my mind and was really clear, and something we know at the city, is that everything is full circle. You do one thing and it builds on another, and it allows us to create an amazing community both for our residents and our business owners. So we're going to kind of walk through some of those layers today, because I really do believe that they're all intertwined. Creating spaces for our families to live, providing education and opportunities for students, helping new entrepreneurs get business started, and supporting our largest employers, creating opportunities for places to hang out, things for families to do. That's the fabric of our community. Those things combined are what make this a great place. So we're going to kind of break those things down. We're going to start with the comp plan, which sounds kind of boring and dry. I will tell you it is not. The comp plan is our 20-year vision for the city. It is an opportunity that we have, and I say opportunity meaning a mandate, to plan for 20 years ahead, right? And it really is. It allows us to reach out to the community and say, hey, where do you want to live 20 years from now? Where do you want your kids to live? What do you want the city to look like? So we've been doing really significant outreach with community, had booths up at all of the events that were all summer long, lots of opportunity on our website. And we're planning, we're analyzing what does the city look like. We're given growth targets by the state. You have to plan for X number of new residences. You have to plan for X number of jobs. The really good news, the thing that I want to tell you, is that Kent hits those targets every time. So that means we're planning, right? And this planning process is that opportunity for you all to tell us exactly the kind of community that you want to live in and that you want to do business in. Some of the things that we planned for years ago that are starting to happen, light rail on the West Hill. Has anybody been up along Pack Highway in the last even like 6 months? We have 2 stations that have come up out of the ground. The light rail track is there. That's the good news. The bad news is they've delayed the opening till middle-ish of 26. So it's coming. Hold on, it will be here. But we're really excited about that investment in the community. A closer investment, King County Metro is working on what's called Rapid Ride I. So that is bus service that is much faster than your traditional. We're going to sort of stop at every block. It's about speed and reliability. And that Rapid Ride I line is going to connect from Renton down through Kent Station to the Auburn Transit Center. So if you're a transit rider, think Route 160. That's all in the works. They're hoping to start construction on that next year. The city's role in that is really in a permitting role. And I will tell you, the work that we've been doing the most is trying to mitigate for the impacts. So progress is painful. Sometimes things happen that in the short term don't feel very good. And so we're seeing that with Metro and know that the city's pushing back. We want to protect the businesses that are along that route. I am not okay with adding a great new service at the expense of somebody else's livelihood. So those are the kind of interactions that we're working with Metro on. Housing, sort of that next layer, right? We've got people moving around. We need to have a place for them to be. Talked about that Sound Transit project up there. Sound Transit's recently entered into a contract with an organization called Mercy Housing, as well as Open Doors for multicultural families. And they are building an amazing project up there that is deeply affordable and affordable housing with a focus on families who have family members with intellectual disabilities. So very, very proud of the fact that that type of housing stock is going to be available here in our community and the work that's going to be done up there. The flip side of that is that we know that the best type of housing is housing in all income levels. So we are also working with Sound Transit to assure that the south property that they have up there is more market rate housing. So we want to balance, right? We want to make sure that people in all income levels have those housing options. All right. Let's go back one. The other piece of this is what I think is really missing in stock all around the state is ownership opportunities. How many people do you know, or your kids, like, my dream is to eventually own my own place to live? I feel like that resonates with almost everybody. If you listen to the conversation around affordable housing at the state level, it's almost solely focused on renters. And while we need that rental opportunity, I believe we also need an ownership opportunity. That is how you own something in the community. It makes you a part of something. It's just a little bit different. So we are working with South King Housing and Homeless Partners, which is an organization we belong to with South King County Cities, to really focus on how do we generate those entry-level opportunities for people to get into their first home. The legislature passed some laws last year requiring the city to allow up to four to 6 units on a single-family lot. While I'm frustrated because it's a mandate without any funding, think water, sewer, all of those kind of things. The opportunity there is to focus on creating ownership. And so that is how I am channeling what I think could be a little bit of lemons into lemonade. We want to be able to create opportunities for people to buy homes here in Kent. So there's my housing pitch. More to come on that, but that's really where we're going to be focusing in the next year. All right, education. So that's the next layer. We've got families that can get around. We've got families that now have a place to live, but we need to focus on education. So with our ARPA dollars, those American Rescue Plan dollars that cities got during COVID, we funded a consultant to work with the school district, the Kent School District, to develop an overarching STEM and career-connected learning plan. So how do we want to help the school district, help the students, get you employees is really the idea behind that, right? Making sure that our kids have the skills that they need to enter into the workforce. We will be presenting that plan at a joint meeting between the Kent School Board and the City Council here at the end of the month, so stay tuned. But we've got a lot of really exciting things in making sure that our students fully understand the opportunities that are available. It is an exciting thing to be partnering with the Kent School District and making sure that our kids know that it's not just a four-year university. You don't have to just go immediately. I mean, not anything against UW or WSU, but there's other pathways, and we want our kids to understand that. So we are also working in that same place. City administration, the Kent School District, Green River College, and Renton Technical College are working together to create what is going to be an employers roundtable. So maybe tapping some of you on the shoulder. We want to hear from you. What are the skills you need in employees? And then how can our local colleges create programs that fit those needs, right? If we're not having those conversations and it's just the same programs that kids are circling through, we want them to be successful. There's probably nothing worse than going to school for 2 years or 4 years and then realizing, I don't know, back in my day, it was the underwater basket weaving degree. I feel like that happens, right? My mom used to say that to me all the time. I don't know where it came from. I don't understand the reference, but that is what she used to say to me. You can't get that degree. So we want to make sure that the schools are offering programs that are important to you. We also know that there are many, many paths to that success and that prosperity. So we are going to continue working with incredible organizations around our region for things like construction jobs, electricians, welders, builders, plumbers, accountants. All of those types of skills are needed. And I want to say thank you to the Chamber for their willingness to help us promote those programs and those partnerships. We can't get the word out all by ourselves. So making sure, again, that the students know, but also that their parents know. I mean, I don't know how many parents in the room found that piece of paper at the bottom of the backpack where you're like, oh, feel like I should have known about this a week ago. That is real. We want to make sure that that's not happening with these opportunities. So some of the organizations doing this work that we really want to call out are, this is a lot of acronyms, so I'm going to go slow. ANEW, AJAC, Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee, CAMPS, Center for Advanced Manufacturing, Puget Sound, Women in Manufacturing, First Robotics, STEM Path Innovations. They're all helping our kids and providing them skills to connect to that upward mobility and choose the path that fits them to get to that place. So as we work with schools and organizations to provide our students with the skills they need to become great employees, we are also focused on supporting businesses. So we've got a lot of kids that are getting those skills, but then they're going to need a place to work, right? So how do we as a city support your success and your growth here in the Kent Valley? Again, we used ARPA money to stand up or supplement programs that can provide durable, impactful support to the business community. As our council was working through how do we spend that ARPA money, one of the consistent conversations was, is it just money that happens one time, or are we helping build sustainability? Are we helping build bandwidth so businesses can stay and grow? Sometimes that little bit of money is what you need, but a lot of the times it's the ability to maintain and to be successful. So we've used ARPA funding to stand up supplement programs that provide that durable, impactful business opportunity. Our Flex Fund, something you've heard me talk about last year, we worked with Grow America. The good news is we've funded 43 applications for up to $2.8 million. That's no fee, low interest loans. And then listen to the statistics. If this does not make you feel like we hit the mark in representing Kent. So those loans were made, 84.6 of the funded applicants identify as diverse community members, 34.6% women, 26.9% identified as Asian, 15.3% Black or African American, and 11.5% Hispanic or Latinx. That was the goal, making sure that that money found its way into our community. So the city's also partnered with Business Impact Northwest. Do we have our Business Impact Northwest board member here? Okay, not so. Just so you know, they're super connected across the board, and including the chamber board. Using, again, ARPA funds, the city's contracted with Business Impact Northwest to provide small business coaching, classes, and access to capital to small businesses. All of those things that when you start a business, you're like, I know what I want to do, I know what my product is, but how do I get there? What are the skills that I need to do that? So that Business Impact Northwest is working with our entrepreneurial low and moderate income earners, women, BIPOC community members, veterans, immigrants, and members of the LGBTQ plus community to provide those skills. Program classes are now available, and they're also working on training community-based organizations so they can help us get that word out to those businesses that are in need of those services. If you are an interested business, or you know someone that might be, you can go to their website, businessimpactnw.org/City of Kent, and all of that information is right there. We've hosted 2 virtual information sessions for potential applicants to learn more about the city's commercial affordability grant program, which is an established partnership with, again, Grow America. They were formerly the National Development Council. I'm sure that some of you have worked with them. We funded $1.5 million of ARPA money, and these grants will fund pre-development costs for real estate projects that provide either ownership or long-term affordable opportunities for businesses that were disproportionately impacted by COVID. So it's that beginning money so businesses can have that space. And we're really excited about this. We had 25 organizations participate. Grow America is in the process of reviewing those applications, and we will have announcements from their decision-making process soon. So stay tuned, but it's just another way that we're using that federal funding that came to the City of Kent to really support the business community. We've allocated $225,000 for regional community business navigation. So the Kent Chamber, along with Indian American Community Services, have been selected to be those connectors and will be directing small business technical assistance to our businesses in our community. So reach out to Zenobia. She knows how to make those connections. We know that we need to provide a variety of support. So if you look at that list, right, it's capital money, it's sustainability money, it's training and education. That's the only way that we are going to be successful. So there's many free sources of support to our businesses, but sometimes the hardest part is figuring out, how do I find them and how do I know the opportunities? So that's the investment in the chamber. It's the investment in those community-based organizations. But we also have a website because that's what we do, right? Pick up your phone. You know that there's going to be information there. You can go to the city's main website, and on that page, you will see our business assistance webpage. And that is going to provide you with a list of all of these resources that are available to your small business. Or if you're a CBO doing that kind of work, we want to connect with you to make sure that we can help you have all of that information. Okay, we just finished lunch, but we're going to talk about food. I feel like that is the great connector everywhere. One of the coolest things I think about our city is you can sample food, you can eat your way around the world and never have to leave Kent. Right? I mean, it is a real thing. We have the most amazing food here. So the city is partnered with a famous chef, Christina Arakasami. She is featuring our restaurants and doing food tours. She's got cookbooks out, amazing, and she chose Kent because of that. We also, if you check out the city's social media pages, our Cuisines of Kent, we feature local restaurants. Great pictures, description of what they do, opportunity to go and check out those restaurants. We've used some ARPA funding to help support Project Feast. How many have been to Cafe Ubuntu over in our downtown? So amazing cafe, and the cool thing is it's great food, but it's also providing predominantly refugee and immigrant women with skills to start their own food business or to enter into the food industry. So it's that good food for a good cause, which seems to me to be the most perfect combination. We're also doing a lot of work in food, the business of food. So not necessarily the restaurant space, but how do we get it? How's it packaged? Where does it come from? If you're making something great and you want to get it to store shelves, the city's collaborative work with King County's local food initiative utilizing Port of Seattle partnership, hear a theme there, right? We continue to partner. That's the best way to get things done. After nearly 2 years of outreach and analysis with multiple food sector partners navigating a myriad of barriers, and we all know there's barriers in everything. It feels like there's roadblocks everywhere. But when you get all the right experts in the room, you can overcome those things. So there is a partnership that is formed between Business Impact Northwest and our very own Living Well Kent. They have partnered to create a shared use facility to provide job training, affordable commissary kitchen space for entrepreneurs. I've got this great recipe. I need to figure out how to mass produce it, and I need to figure out how to get it to market. But you got to have that commercial kitchen space, right? You can't just keep doing it in your home kitchen forever. So we need to have those spaces. It's also distribution for local farmers, produce, that kind of thing. And they're going to be working on food insecurity in the Kent Valley. So again, all of the things being tied together. They're headed out to do their fundraising. The city and the county are going to continue to engage with local organizations on topics of business development for product-focused food, or for food-focused entrepreneurs in the Kent Valley. I think one of the things a lot of people don't know, the amount of great food that's made here in the Valley. So I think Starbucks first roasting plant, that's kind of the given. We have a great salami company that's down here. We make gluten-free pasta. The little cakes that go on the McGriddles, the ones with the syrup pockets in them, those are made in Kent. I mean, it's amazing the amount of food products that are produced right here in the Kent Valley. So I also want to give a shout out to Living Well Kent and the Kent Lions, because they last year combined for the first time to expand our farmers market. They're coming back again. Farmers market will be starting June 15th. So if you get an opportunity, come down. It's a great place to buy locally grown produce, flowers, those kinds of things. All right, sticking with the food theme, there are over 200 food manufacturing companies in the Kent Valley. My list that I just gave you is very short. I need to do a better job of committing them all to memory. But we've been working with Business Impact Northwest in support of their Grow and Thrive, their food business accelerator program, by recruiting local food industry mentors to share their experience with food entrepreneurs. So helping those folks that have got that really great idea, that great recipe, or that idea of they want to bring the food from their culture here, connecting them with somebody who's already been down that path, that mentorship opportunity. It's a structured mentorship program with expert guidance and advice, and it helps food business owners who want to take their business to a new level. So really exciting things happening. I don't think I have to say this. I think most people realize that real estate in the Kent Valley, we have a prime market here. We've got very low vacancies, a lot of good things going on. And in part, or a lot, it's due to our space industry. So I know that you didn't think you could get through without us talking about space and aerospace, but it's because it is such an important part of our economy. I don't know where the Puget Sound region would be without that aerospace economy. So I've got some fun statistics that I want to share with you. Our legacy in aerospace and a fast-growing space subsector, so near space, outer space, is the best source of middle and higher income jobs and a driver of our opportunity for our families and our residents. Kent has over half of the space jobs contributing to, any guesses how much we contribute to the economy with those jobs? $5 billion. That is a B. I love to say numbers that have a B after the end of them. That's an incredible number. And we also know that sector is projected to grow more than 6 times in the next 20 years. So that opportunity, getting those students prepared for those jobs, helping those companies, and it's not just the big companies, it's all the way down. It's their suppliers, and it's also where people go and grab coffee when they're on their lunch break. Blue Origin is our private largest employer with over 11,000 jobs. That's pretty incredible. They have 1,600 openings on their website today. So if you know anybody looking in that sector, 1,600 jobs to fill. Over half of those 11,000 jobs are right here in the Kent Valley. This last year, we were really excited. Blue Origin hosted, and we had Bill Nelson, who is the lead administrator for NASA, along with Senator Maria Cantwell, here in the Kent Valley to talk about the future of the space industry and their desire to create a Pacific Northwest local manufacturing institute. So I am not going to lie, we want it in Kent. Do not want it in Moses Lake. That does not qualify as the Pacific Northwest as far as I'm concerned. So we are going to keep up those conversations with the senator along with NASA to make sure that that happens. We've also participated in regional efforts across the aerospace industry to quantify what it means to our economy. And once you quantify something, then you can figure out how to support it. So King County led an air and space strategy study for 2030. The aerospace employers, here's some more of that data. Aerospace employers, both small and large, participated in the effort. And here's the contribution number across King County. $19 billion to the GDP and over 60,000 jobs in King County. That's amazing. We are so excited, and a lot of them are located here in Kent. We know it is a vital source of vibrancy for our communities, and if you think about it, you think about space, and a lot of times people go, Florida, Texas. That air and aerospace money that comes out of King County is the same amount that's generated by the entire state of Florida in King County. So, right, that's pretty good news. Here's the better news. Of the 19 billion, 14 billion comes from South King County. Nearly all of it, right? We're gonna give the east side that 5 billion, that 14 billion, we get to claim it here in South King County. And that means we have opportunity. It means that our families have an opportunity for those jobs and the ability to thrive. It means that all of your businesses are supported because we've got people coming to work here every day. King County's average annual income for a family is $73,000. So that's a family, and it's average across the county. What we know is that without the expense of college, aerospace production roles here in the Kent Valley pay an annual living wage of $82,000. That's for one, that's for a person. And that's the beginning, that's a starting point. So we know that there's educational opportunity. Most of those employers are absolutely going to give you access to the training, the certification, and all of those kinds of things you need. So again, it's so important that we get our students ready to fill these jobs so they can see that kind of income to be able to support their families. Quite simply, aerospace manufacturing provides the highest quality and highest number of middle to high income jobs for high school graduates, as well as those with degrees in King County. And the majority of them are here in the Kent Valley. So it's not limited to Blue Origin. We've got companies like Stoke Space, Starfish Space, Rocket Propulsion Systems. They make these really cool, like this size of rockets. Check them out. I'm pretty impressed. One of the best parts of my job is getting to tour all of your businesses and learning all of those kinds of things. But they're all innovating right here in the Kent Valley. We're working to help to grow, to support these companies along with their suppliers. Again, it's that chain, right? There's one company, but they need things. They have suppliers, and then their employees need to grab coffee. They need to go drop their dry cleaning off or have daycare. So it's an ecosystem that's been created. The crazy thing is private industry right now is innovating faster than it ever has before. Certainly faster than any government entity could. While I am biased, I love my city government, we are not anywhere near fast as private industry. We want to be there, we want to support, and so our job is that supporting role, is helping you move really fast. So we think about rockets, we think about satellites, but here's one of those little nuggets of information that most people don't know. All of that technology, it's not just about sending people, William Shatner, to the moon. I have signed up and raised my hand, told Blue Origin I want to be the first mayor in space. They have not returned my calls. But it's also technology that defends our country. Think about things that are going on across the world and how important defense is. But it's also things like Google Maps. It's farming technology. Farmers use information relayed from satellites to do things like plant their crops, to check when do they need to water, what are the soil conditions, how is the snowpack going to impact them. So satellite company helping the farmer is supplying the product to all of our brand new food entrepreneurs. Do you see what I mean? It's all for full circle, and it's all happening right here in the Kent Valley. And they're also doing things like surveillance and communications and all of those kind of things. But I really like to make that broader connection. And those companies are great parts of our community. This coming next month, April 20th, Blue Origin is going to do their first ever Earth Day fun run. And it's going to start right here downtown at Kersome Park. So if you're interested in participating, you can reach out to the Kent Downtown Partnership for more information on that. And then it says on my notes, transitions are hard, but that one just wrote itself. Space jobs, space company, fun runs, space parks. Right? That's how my brain works. So here's the list. We're now down to space parks. If you have not had a chance to check out Kersome Park right in the middle of downtown, I highly recommend it. Great play equipment. There's a lunar rover built here in Kent 50 plus years ago, a lunar lander. The surface that the lunar lander's on, you got to wait till there's nobody watching, but walk across it. It's bouncy, and so it feels like you're on the top of the moon. I am positive more than one person has been like, I don't know what that lady's doing over there, but it is so much fun. There is also a really cool component to that park that was funded by Boeing. So huge shout out to the Boeing company. And it's our Kids for Space app. So the kids can download this app. It's in multiple languages. It's augmented reality. They download it and they can walk around the park and land rockets and fly into space and see what the surface of the moon looks like. So many amazing things. Explore the solar system, and they can be astronauts. So the idea is that that's the inspiration, right? They're going to come and play at the park. Mom and dad get a break. They can read a book, watch the kids play, and the kids are going to the moon. And that's that seed that's planted when we come back and say, you want to learn how to build a robot? Sure. And then that turns into an internship, that turns into a job, that eventually turns into a company. And so we're pretty excited to be a part of that. I also want to give a little bit of a sneak peek preview. You know those two vacant lots that are next to Kersome Park? Anybody that's been downtown seen them? We call them the Penguin Lot because thankfully KDP had some pretty cool penguin art up there for a while. The city is using ARPA dollars, and I signed the purchase and sale agreement on one of those lots this week. Big deal for our downtown. We're working on the other one. It's going to happen. I have faith. But we're going to be able to expand the park. And it's going to be a new gathering space in the downtown. So it won't necessarily carry that space theme through, but it's going to be a place to hang out, maybe food trucks to come into downtown, have concerts, a lot of different things. We don't have all the details worked out, but I can tell you that we are making investments, tangible investments as a city government into our downtown to make it a better place. As you can see, there are so many great things that are happening in our beautiful city. Your government is committed to finding ways to build partnerships, invest in our kids and our families, help our businesses grow. And again, it's full circle, right? We understand that we have to take care of the people. People doing people things in amazing places is what makes a community. And that is the focus of what we're doing at the City of Kent to help support you. So there you go. So I promised that it wasn't too long, even though it looked like a lot of cards, but I did want to leave time for questions. If you all have questions about things that are going on or happening in the city, how the city can support our businesses, I would be happy to take them. And I know this is not a super shy group. Thank you.
I hope I'm not the only one that doesn't know this. I know that you and other cities were asking for the increase in sales tax to support law enforcement. Where are we with that?
Session ends today, and the legislature did not take it up. So here's my frustration, and this is going to sound really pointed, but I think it's important. I did a radio interview last week, and the gentleman on the other side said, "You failed at the legislature." And my response was, the legislature failed Kent. It is not a secret. There is a public safety, the word crisis is overused, but I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it, right? Crime is on the rise, and it's not Kent. It is Kent and Auburn and Renton and Federal Way and North Seattle. It doesn't matter where you are in the state of Washington. Part of that problem is funding-wise, we are the lowest state, 51st, lowest state and District of Columbia in police staffing per capita in the state of Washington. We're at the very, very bottom. And the city of Kent is at the bottom of that. That is not a fun place to be. Our officers are running like crazy from call to call to call to call. We don't have the capacity or the funding to support additional officers. And at this point, we need probably 40 plus just to get up to average. I am not asking for the star and the moons. We've got other people working on space stuff. I just want to be right here at ground level. Like, how do we get to the middle? So what we had asked the legislature for was simply the ability for our city council to consider a sales tax increase. 0.3%, so that's 3 pennies on a $10 purchase. I understand the word tax is not a great thing. I fully there with you. But if I went to the grocery store and I spent $10 and $3 meant that I had a police response in a timely manner and that I had an officer driving through my neighborhood and that I had the opportunity for those officers to be at community events and working with our kids, you better believe I'd pay that 3 cents over and over again. Our businesses supported it. A lot of you, Michelle reached out and signed your name. We had residents support it. We went down, we testified in Olympia in both the House and the Senate, and they refused to even vote on it. So it didn't happen. That's okay. We're going to go back again next year. I have more and more mayors signing on, more and more chiefs signing on, more and more city council members signing on, saying we have to have the tool. One of the big questions I got asked was, well, why don't you just take it to the ballot? You're trying to circumvent voters. I would love to take it to the ballot, but I don't even have that authority. The state controls what we can take to the ballot and what we can't. So the most expeditious path was to allow the people that you all elected to make decisions, make decisions. The second path would have been a ballot measure, but they didn't give us that tool either. So we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep working. In the meantime, Chief is doing an amazing job with the officers that he has. Absolutely. And we're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep showing up and do what we can. And then we are going to continue to put some pressure on the legislature to help us. All we're asking for is we want them to allow us to help our own community. So thank you, Julie.
I have a follow-up to that. So coincidentally, last night I had a great response. Thank you, Chief. 10 units responding to one of my businesses. It took 40 minutes. 911 was awesome, amazing. Give them all the kudos they should deserve. The responding officers were amazing. But it's clear that they're overtaxed. And so, as a business owner, I have 3,000 units in the Kent area. What can we do to help? I mean, they were coming up, shaking my hands, asking my advice. Obviously, I have a million cameras and everything. And so, they weren't able to respond. I mean, 40 minutes is a long time.
It is a long time.
Again, they were awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm not putting down
Nope.
any of that. I'm just saying, I feel like they're overtaxed.
There's without question, we are extremely understaffed for the size of city that we are, for the activity that's going on. So again, if I had a mechanism to ask you to pay more, I would do it. I believe strongly enough that this is the primary issue that our community is facing. What I can ask you to do is reach out to your legislators, call them, write them a letter, show up on their doorstep. If they're having an event, they have to hear. They're hearing it from me. Council President, she just got a promotion. Council President Core showed up in Olympia. Council Member Boyce showed up in Olympia. The Chief, Fred Meyer, showed up. It wasn't enough. It's an ideology thing, and until they hear enough from enough people that are their constituents, I don't know that we're going to change their mind. So,
What do we do? Tell me what to do.
so Sam.
Can I ask you a question? Would you have any objection to me suggesting that there's an elect, every one of those folks in the House and half of them in the Senate are up for election this year, which was a consideration.
Yep.
We have all kinds of opportunities between now and November, and we have another opportunity in November. Do you have any objection to me mentioning?
No. What Sam said.
That's my question, so that you're not put on the spot.
So what Sam said is exactly right. And I do want to be really clear. Representative Chris Stearns in the 47th Legislative District sponsored our legislature, and Senator Karen Kaiser in the Senate sponsored our legislature. Without them, we wouldn't have even gotten to the hearing point. So I am very, very grateful. But collectively, they do need to hear from you. So my guess is your business is a part of a professional organization of some kind. Talk to them about making it a legislative priority. Work with your lobbyists, reach out. I am happy offline to have some Kent resident to Kent business owner conversations about maybe who those folks should be that really need to hear that. But at the end of the day, the only way we're going to make change is getting the legislature to understand how important it is to our community. And that is a true statement. There's no, whoever you are, however, you can't argue that they're doing everything they can with the resources we've got. We need more funding. There's dedicated funding for police, or for fire and libraries and hospitals and every other thing you can imagine. The one thing that we do not fund in this state is law enforcement. And we've got to change that. There's got to be a funding source.
So, thank you, by the way. I'll pass along your words of appreciation.
Props
Good.
for Blue.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Real quick, we do this a lot, and we say contact your legislature, and some do, some don't. I think there's really good evidence this legislative cycle that can work. If you look at the issues that were put up by initiative, it's sad that it has to get to the level of an initiative where voters are demanding that there be change. But if you look at that, we got the pursuit bill changed, right? So now when someone crashes in that building right in front of us out there, my guys can actually go and try and stop the person. Crazy, but it's true again. How did that happen? The voters had to make it crystal clear to our legislature that this is what they wanted. It happened because they had no choice. 400,000 voters said, "You need to fix this." I wish it was easier to convey that information, but it's not. So really, you and 20 of your friends need to express your wishes directly to the legislature, whether or not it is an ideology thing.
Yeah. The city council, about a year ago, passed an ordinance that says it's against Kent city law to set up an encampment in public spaces or critical areas. So that's what you're seeing is the Parks Department. Those spaces are deliberately built for other things, whether it be a baseball game or we're protecting a critical area. So they do have the ability to go in and just like our police officers, our first thing is we offer people services. They do. So he has a team that does that all day long. So we've got struggles. If it's on private property, we don't have the ability to go in. The law says that's private property. So sometimes it's because the property owner isn't here, and then we work to try and find them, or the property owner has passed away and their grandson's living there, and their grandson then has friends. I mean, there's a variety of things, but absolutely, we have an amazing team, small but mighty, in our police department that works with local service providers. We've got parks folks that are out there and making contact, and the goal is always service first. But if they are not willing to accept services, they are not at that point, they're not ready, then we do have the ability to move them on. And that's what you're seeing. It's just, again, it's resources, but absolutely dedicated to doing that. So.
Similar issues to the gentleman there, but I'm wondering if there's a Kent Business Owners Alliance of some sort where we can, if it doesn't exist, then we should probably create the alliance. But I'm at that point as well where if we keep getting broken into, and every time it's a cost to the business, we're not going to be in Kent for very long. So, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that, and it kind of sucks because this is our community, this is where I wanted our business to be and all that, but we're kind of being forced out.
Yeah. So here's this first response is going to sound snarky, and it's absolutely not. It's not Kent. It's Kent and Auburn and Renton and Federal Way and Lake City and Issaquah and Redmond. It is all of those cities. If you look at crime data across Washington state, if you said to me, I'm moving to a different state, I would say, maybe better choice, maybe a better chance. So I don't mean that to be sarcastic in any way.
Well, we wouldn't have an office anymore. So we're getting to the point.
You are not the first person that I am hearing that from. I promise you. The Business Alliance, that is the Chamber of Commerce and the Kent Downtown Partnership. That is where that work is being done. And I know in the past there have been subcommittees talking about public safety. The chief is always willing to come and have those conversations. Our neighborhood response team, we have a group, our officers that will come out to your business, and we can do a walkthrough and offer up ideas on how to change things a little bit in the environment that might be helpful. But I hear you 100%, and you're not alone. And I wish I had a better answer for it, other than we need more law enforcement, we need more resources for people. And again, 9 times out of 10, the best way to get somebody into resources is with law enforcement. That's just a reality. And we're asking for that. We're asking for those resources. We just need some help. I saw Carmen's hand. A lot of them in the housing realm. So I made reference to House Bill 1110. That is a requirement that cities of our size take a look at the majority of our properties, and what we had zoned for single family now can be 4 to 6 units. Along with that means that bigger water service, more sewer service, all of those kinds of things that we don't have. They weren't built into the plan because we've got multifamily zones and we've got single family zones. A lot of things in that realm. Service type things, bolstering of different types of court, public defender laws. There's a lot of things in that arena as well. So it's, yeah. I mean, probably just in our comp plan, because our comp plan was underway, and then the rules changed. Like they said, here's what you're planning for, and then they changed them last session, and then changed them again in the last week. Just in that one process, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in one thing. Infrastructure-wise, that's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars. And having those conversations, but I think until you get woken up in the middle of the night because you've got a main break because that pipe is 75 years old, maybe it doesn't resonate. I'm not sure. So
I just wanted to add one little thing to the conversation that's happening about security, and the gentleman who's asked, what can we do to help? We were getting vandalized every weekend, and it was costing us thousands and thousands of dollars. The technology, which is, you'll see them pop up everywhere, those remote security cameras. They're in a white base, and they have a tall 4 cameras on there. Once we got one of those, once we subscribed, the violence or the vandalism came to 90%. I mean, it was just amazing. The cameras are very, very helpful, and they do so much. But they also help because when we did get things stolen, the cameras gave us the opportunity to video and send it to the police to help them. So we didn't have to keep calling saying, we got vandalized again. So our calls were less. We went from $79,000 in vandalism down to $49,000 in just our repairs. So it basically saved us just overnight $30,000. I think, and you're seeing them pop up everywhere now. Mm-hmm. They actually do so much more. You can actually communicate through those cameras to the people who are vandalizing you. You camera will send you an alert when something happens. If anybody's in that camera space within 3 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes, there's an announcement that goes off. You may have heard it at the Safeway. You are trespassing warning. It is very intimidating. So you have some control. I think I felt so much better not having to call the police and file a report every single weekend. So I know I'm giving them a little bit of reprieve, but I've also given them what they ask for when they say, do you see the perpetrators? Do you have any information? It's like we're sitting in
that partnership is really important because, again, our officers can't be everywhere all the time. Having that type of evidence gives our detectives the ability to work on it. It's something also that, again, our city council has chosen to invest in. It's called, on our site, they're called flock cameras, FLOCK. Is a hard word to say in public, just for the record. I feel like they should have a different name. But those cameras are, as we're expanding the network, we can put them around the city. And so our officers can query, like if it was a red car that ran through that storefront, then they can pull it up on the cameras and see where that red car traveled, and they're connected with other cities. So we're building out a network. So even if the bad guy does something in Tukwila, we might be able to find him in Kent, or you can find him off of the freeway in Oregon. That system is expanding, and that is absolutely one of the ways that we're using technology to improve service and to be able to fight the bad guys. So.
Yeah, can we just add one more footnote to the question about the alliance? You mentioned the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce and Kent plays an outsized, Pat is a member of a coalition, and Kent plays an outsized role in that coalition that includes Burien, Tukwila, Renton, Kent, Auburn, Covington, Normandy Park, Des Moines, Fife, and Puyallup. That board started the discussions about what we can do in connection with the proposal that you had at the legislature. Zenobia could use our help in pushing that with that board, because the board's very open to it, and so there may be an easy option. The network is already there that we could help to leverage to put this in front of it and help elected officials like Chris Stearns know they have all those folks behind them, or if they're not in, that they have all those folks looking at them like a hawk.
Yep. No. So that's something our officers will come out and do what's called SEPTED. And that's that environmental design, that public safety with environmental design. And so they will talk to you about camera placement. Chief and I were down visiting a business earlier this week. And as we left, he's like, come on, let's walk around the building. And he's like, there needs to be a camera there and there. And so here's the hard part. I want to be able to solve your problem. And when I have to say, go spend money to solve your problem, it's really hard for me. The reality is, at this point, until we get the resources, it's going to take that partnership. And that's the best thing that we can do. But I am very, very hopeful next year that we are going to take Olympia by storm, and they're going to have to listen, because it's not just Kent. That's the other thing. So
kind of tying into that, but coming from a residential perspective, I have to say there's the other side of security, the outside stuff. The physical security. But so when I used to live in Seattle, I was ahead of a block watch, and I remember because even if we start sparing some of the business community of what's going on, it could go into residential. And I just remember, and I don't know if we have this here, but when I was in Seattle and heading my block watch, we had a person from the police force who came and gave our entire group kind of what they would do with your business. An opportunity for walk-arounds in your properties too, to talk about where are those places that are kind of like.
Yep, our community education department, we do have a block watch program in Kent. We run, so if you've got a neighborhood that's interested and are not quite sure, we run fairly regular, we call them Block Watch 101. And it's a class that explains all of those programs, and then you are connected with the community education specialist that works in your neighborhood, in your area. And so they can provide all of those types of education. It helps you build out a phone tree, right? One of the best ways to keep a neighborhood safe is to know who lives there and who doesn't live there. So if there's some random car parked on the street that doesn't feel, that call, right? And so it's getting to know your neighbors at 100%. The Block Watch program is, you have, yep, and everybody signs in, and then you can say this has happened here, or here's a question, or just push out safety tips. And so we encourage all of our neighborhoods to be a part of our Block Watch program. Definitely. Thank you for that.
It would also be, I mean, you're asking about alliances. I mean, the legislative committee, I'm sure, is looking for members at the chamber, and that would be like a #1 place to go. But then also, you know, I was having this conversation. This is going to sound dumb, but I was on a blind date with the assistant chief of police of Seattle, and we were having, and it did not work out. And that was fine. But I just have to share this. I had this conversation with him because I'm a member of the Renton Chamber, and I was talking about networking programs and things that I wanted to do with that organization. And he actually said to me, he's like, "Why would you want to do that? They don't need it." And I was like, okay, first of all, there was a basketball game going on. I said, people on the court are like your employees. The business owner is the coach, and we're all trying to find our resources. So all of us networking together like this and having those conversations and knowing all the business owners around us is how you have
Partner, that partnership at every single level is the only thing that's that foundation, right? We have to know where the resources are, and it's true for safety, it's true for business reasons, it's true for employees, all of those things. It's that full circle that I talk, like all of them are connected. When I come out and talk to the business community or neighborhood, public safety, business safety should not be the only thing that we talk about. And that also, to me, is exactly why I believe the legislature needs to do something, because this shouldn't be the only thing we talk about. And it has to be. It has to be. That is the unfortunate reality of where we are right now. And until we can get that action, and it's a whole host of things, right? It's the laws that the chief talked about. It's how we address things like drug use in the state of Washington. We went a year and a half where drugs were essentially legal, and then everybody's scratching their head, why does King County have more overdoses than any other place in the country? There's a cause and effect relationship to decisions that are made. When you can't pursue cars, of course you're going to see cars driving through buildings because they can get away. I mean, it's all of those things. And we are right now in the eye of this storm. There's been all of these decisions, and it's like I said, it's at every level. Judges, prosecutors, you name it. Everybody plays a piece in this. And until we can get people moving in the same direction, this is unfortunately where we're here trying to pick up the pieces. And we are going to continue picking up the pieces. You have my commitment. I know that Council President Corr will give you the commitment of the City Council, the Chief's commitment. We just need some help.
Yeah, I'm part of the Government Affairs Committee, so I will be loud.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll quit talking. So I've got like $400 million a year. I'm sure there's over $1 billion that is business being done with all of these leaders, these great people, and we're concerned about the same thing. And we thank the chief. What do I do tomorrow? What do we do to start the process?
Session ends today. Start calling them tomorrow. To Sam's point, and this is not a political statement. This is a fact statement. Elections for legislature are happening in November. Do your research. If there is something that you are passionate about, and I would say the same thing for me when I'm up for election, do your research. Figure out, what did I support that you liked? What did I support that you didn't like? The same thing holds true for your legislators. You can go on the website and see what they voted yes for and what they voted against. Same thing with your judges. Take a look at what their records are. And that starts now, because you know what? Now that legislative session is done, campaign season starts. And so it is a matter of being loud today. Let them sleep tonight. Tomorrow morning, that's the thing. And it really is about doing the homework and figuring out who you see as an ally, whatever the issue is. The information's out there. Did they support it? Did they not? And then ask them the tough questions. I am happy to any day of the week, stand up here in front of you and tell you what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I support and what I don't support. That is my job. That is why you elected me. It's a little bit tougher with our legislators. I also go to the grocery store and I go to Kent Station and I go to Thai Chili, and my family no longer goes with me because I don't get in and out. The number of times this session I had legislators, not our Kent legislators, but people say, why is Kent always here? Why do you always have something to say? Like, because it's my job to take care of my city and you're doing things to my city. And so there was this traffic bill about traffic cameras. And so I've been very open about this. Chief has been very open about it. You've all heard me. We have red light cameras in the city for safety because people run red lights, but it is also a voluntary funding program for our body cameras, right? I've been very clear about that from day one. There was a bill introduced in the legislature that said, great, cities, we want you to put in more crosswalks, so we're going to take all of the funding from red light cameras and school zones and make you put crosswalks in. And I went, where's my body camera money coming from? How are we going to fill that? And it was 15 conversations later, and my husband being very patient at 10 o'clock on Saturday night because I'm still talking to legislators, but I finally got one of them to say, I had no idea. That's the statement, right? They had no idea. So great, grand, like this feels like the right thing. And I mean, I want crosswalks, I want sidewalks. But if you're going to make me do it, then I need different money for it, because the money that I've got, I'm already using for something. And I am not about to go to the Kent community or our police department for that matter and say, yeah, those body cameras, those really amazing tools that you have, sorry, I can't pay for them anymore because I got a new crosswalk over here. That's the kind of stuff. But we're there. But the point being, back to where Carmen was right, is they hear from me all the time. And I do think at some point they're just like, that's Kent again. And it's going to take all of us to be able to get those decisions, to get them to pay attention. So, we have several of our delegation that were 100% supportive. So I want to make sure that I say that repeatedly, that are absolutely doing the work. We had several of them that did not. So there's that too. But I am grateful for the folks that stood by us this session and will be with us again next session. Anything else? Zenovia's got the I'm moving closer in kind of look. So
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Wilmot, and I'm in our economic development team at the city, and I work with a lot of you in the business community. The public safety thing is a huge challenge, and I just wanted to share. My first job out of college was I was a legislative assistant at the legislature in Olympia. I worked for 2 different legislators, and I just wanted to let you know that you can email them and you can call them, and the ways to do that are on the website. If you don't know who your legislature is, go to ledge.wa.gov and find who your legislator is and email them. I'm hearing people want to do something right now. Start doing it now, because they're going to be on the campaign trail the minute the session is over. And hearing from you right now is critical, as they can start talking. If you have a neighborhood meeting, invite legislators to come and hear from your neighbors. They need to hear from you, and they will come because they want your vote. So just a bit of advice.
And one step further, look at the issues that are important to you and pull those bills up and see who voted yes and who voted no. So they may not be in your district, but they represent the state, and they need to hear from you. So I think Zenobia is going to do some drawing. Thank you so much. I very, very much appreciate it. This is a fantastic city. We have an amazing business community. So many good things going on. Hopefully you're taking away from that stack of cards there all the good things that are happening. We've got challenges, and I absolutely acknowledge that over and over again, but there's good things too. So thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor Ralph and Chief Padilla and Council President Kaur. Definitely appreciate your partnership. And also to Sam Pace and all of my folks on government affairs. You guys shine bright. I appreciate you. If you don't know, next month is my 5th year at the Chamber, and I'd like to, that's a long time. I'd like to really help make some changes. So we really want to get involved with what at the core, what we do at the chamber, and that is advocate for our small businesses. That is at our core exactly why we are here. These are nice. Luncheons are nice. The expo is nice. The women's conference, all of that is nice. But at the end of the day, if we have businesses leaving our city and they cannot have thriving businesses, we will not have a business community. We will not have a community that we want to live in and raise our children in. So again, in my 5th year, I'm committed as always, but I'm committed to actually make some change with advocacy. We have to stand together. Our voices have to be heard, and we have to do that by supporting one another and actually speaking up. Before I go into the raffles, I do want to have our next vendor come up, or our final vendor come up. We have Dr. Ellington with Eileen and Callie's Place going to come up and talk a little bit about what she has going on. This nonprofit is near and dear to my heart. If you all don't know, I was a foster child, and I'm amazed at all of the work that you all do.
Thank you, Zenobia. Eileen and Callie's Place was formed specifically to support girls that were aging out of the foster care system. Foster care is one of those areas where unless you've been involved, unless you know someone that's involved, you don't think about it. It's just something that happens out there. Well, for whatever reason that these kids are in the care system, they become wards of the state. We're the state. When they turn 18, we tell them, well, you're an adult now, go handle life. And we know in the best of situations, especially those of you who have adult kids at home, at 18, you're not prepared to handle life, much less without the skill set to even make critical decisions. So Eileen and Callie's Place primary function is to come alongside these young ladies and build a relationship. They have learned not to trust adults because from day one, adults have not been truthful with them. They have not done the things they said they were going to do, nor have they provided for them the things that they need just in basic living skill set. And so we host every year Celebrate 18, which is an annual birthday party where we prepare for 100 girls to come in and just be pampered, be loved on, be reminded that you're not forgotten. There are people that think about you. And what we hear every year when they come in is, why are you doing this? We've been to other events for foster kids and it always felt like this is for those poor little foster kids. I said, well, you're not poor little foster kids. You're loved, you're cared about, and we're here for you. We take the 4,000 square foot, 7,000 square foot gym in the Auburn Community and Event Center, and we turn it into a boutique, a salon. We have professional hairdressers and manicurists and estheticians that come in. We have gift stations all around. And to Zenovia's point, that was my pet peeve, that from the time they enter the system, every time they move from home to home, all of their belongings are put in big black trash bags. What better way to tell somebody you're worthless than to have your life in a trash bag? So the first thing they do when they come into the gym is that they get to select a 22-inch rolling duffel bag, a brand new duffel bag that we take out of the box, out of the bag, take off the tags, and say, this is for you. And then they go around that gym and they are able to shop. They're able to get whatever it is they want. We have close to 20 plus racks of clothes. Ruby Room comes in with racks of brand new clothes because their philosophy is every girl should be able to look pretty when she wants to. The first year that Ruby Room joined us, we couldn't even get the girls to try on the dresses, the party dresses, the formals, the semi-formals, because they didn't felt like they were worth it. So the next year we ran a red carpet from the middle of the gym straight to the wall where there was a full-length mirror. And I said, I want you to see yourself dressed up and beautiful as you are. The next year, they had on everything running down that red carpet because now they were getting a glimpse of what it is. So the primary purpose of Celebrate 18, like I said, is to let them know that they're not forgotten, to show them love, to pamper them. But the secondary purpose is to connect them with a mentor because the party is just one day. They're going to wake up tomorrow and be in the same state that they were in before. So we take, from this time of the year, we take time recruiting mentors, because our goal is to connect each one of those young ladies with a mentor who's going to walk with them through that transition, because we know what it's like. And whether they're there to just listen, we tell them your primary purpose is to get to know this young lady. We're not counselors, we're not therapists, we're not moms, we're not dads. We are an adult that you can trust. So whether it's good news or bad news, whether it's direction or whatever it may be, we're there for you as your mentor, hopefully for as long as you need someone to walk alongside you. So as we prepare for Celebrate 18, Of course, we need sponsors because there's no cost, no charge at all to young ladies that come in. And that sponsorship is not just financial, though we do love those financial sponsors. We do have the need for in-kind donations as well. In 2019, when we held our first Celebrate 18, Kent Station provided us with 100 toothbrushes and toothpaste. And we coupled that with some items from other organizations so that each of the young ladies came out with a hygiene bag. So whether you as a sponsor says, you know what, my business wants to just stand beside you financially, or you want to say, you know what, our business has some very good gift items because we place gifts all around the room so that they can choose what it is they want, which is another option that they don't always have while they're in the system. Or if you're just an individual who says, you know what, I just want to come alongside us, aside us. This is our 10th year, this is our 10th anniversary. And so we've launched a 10 for 10 campaign. So we're asking donors like you to commit to $10 a month because that recurring donation will allow us to meet our budget, serve more girls, and do the things that they've missed coming up. Thank you so much for your time. For those of you that donated, a lot of you are here in the room, and I do appreciate it. I'll be here afterwards if you want to stop by the table and pick up some information or give me a check. Either way, I'll be here. Thank you.
So that's what we have. My events committee would not like it if I didn't again reiterate the different events that we have going on. So again, next Friday we have our women's conference. As soon as we're done here, I would like to just have all of our women in celebration of Women's History Month. Andrew's going to get a great photo of us here to the right. So if we just want to quickly gather before we network, that'd be great. And then we have our Business Expo coming up on the 9th of May. What's different? Last year we had 94 booths at the Showwear Center for that event. This year, we're going to take over both the concourse and the indoors. We have partnered with the governor's office, and they have given us some sponsorship dollars to ensure that we can really take over. The expo. And we are again inviting our partners in South King County. That'd be all of your local chambers here in the South Sound to have those businesses showcase as well. And as the mayor was talking about, there's some wonderful restaurants that you'll be able to taste from as well, because part of that is the Taste of Kent. So if you have not received any information on the expo or you haven't secured your booth, you want to make sure that you give us a call at the chamber to be able to do so. Again, the Business Expo will be on the 9th of May here at the Showwear Center. We're going to have I would imagine we're going to have over 150 booths, and the state of Washington, the governor's office, all of their agencies will be doing a workshop for businesses. So if you have information that you need from like Department of Revenue or DES or get your business certified as a woman-owned business, all of those great things, they will be here in one place and partaking in our expo. So it's going to be a great time for B2B networking. And then, of course, always we'll open the doors for B2C as well. So with that, I thank you so much. Again,